for you have a total of 40 disciplinary infractions since you've been there. And if you're not getting it right in prison, so how can we expect you to get it right in the community? And you can go ahead and respond.
With all due respect, I do not, my actions do have, every action has a reaction. And with that being said, the one thing I have learned that is unfortunate is I have made, in my first several years here, a reputation for myself. I do struggle with it still to this day, that a lot of staff, it's no matter what I do and no matter how good I do, they still see me, unfortunately, in that negative light. And I have to take responsibility for that because I made that negative light my first, 6-7 years being here.
Well, we're about to watch another parole hearing out of the state of Connecticut, and 40 write-ups. That might be a record for a female prisoner. And frankly, it's a lot. So let's jump into the hearing. I don't know about her strategy. I'm blaming it on the guards is a good one, but let's see how the parole board reacts. Let's jump.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Morning, panel member Page.
Panel member Rodriguez, good morning.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of parole application for Nicole M DOC 388786. He's serving a sentence of 13 years with 7 years special parole for violation of probation with larceny second as the underlying offense, violation of probation with burglary third and larceny third is the underlying offense, risk of injury to a minor, 3 counts of larceny third, 5 counts of burglary third. As of today, record reflecting parole eligibility of September 25th, 2020. There is no victim input in the case. There's an offender accountability plan. It shows that the offender has completed Tier 2, Voices, Parenting, People Empowering People, and is currently participating in the Second Chance Pell Program. Utilizing the women's risk needs assessment, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the medium range. Ms. Mann, this is your opportunity to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
If I could be given the opportunity, I have wrote kind of a brief note.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm extremely nervous right now. Thank you for this time. Incarceration has not been easy for me. Initially, I was counterproductive and I struggled. Change was needed. It needed to occur, and I clearly needed to start with myself. It started by self-reflecting and dealing with my own mental health issues, addiction, and self-responsibility. It took time, and as time went on, it led me into immersing myself into programming and working empathetically toward becoming a better person. Attending Tier 2 and working closely with my addiction counselor, Cohen's, was the guidance and wake-up call that I needed to realize my actions have consequences, which led me to enroll in Voices, my victim advocate services. I have also, in my Second Chance Pell program with Three Rivers College, I completed my Tier 2. I recently graduated my hospitality. I am currently taking classes in OSHA in my Serve Safe as well. Which it was very humbling and an eye-opener, and it has left me wanting to leave prison a better person. Continuing to cultivate these instruments for me have been proactive in society, and it's crucial in order for me to leave a better person than when I entered. Having squandered this opportunity before, as well as being placed in chronic discipline unit after receiving life-altering news regarding my son that has unfortunately left him a T10 paraplegic, and I have a very strained relationship with him. That was more than enough to make me realize that I was just not doing enough. I needed to change the person I was, let alone the mother I was being. With the help of certain staff, I was able to accomplish my change that was very much needed, and I still continue to work on daily. I work diligently in utilizing my skills, tools, and education, and it has been essentially necessary, not only to become proactive, but to prepare to become an active member of society. I continue to program as well. I attend my Three Rivers Community College for Intro to Business, which I also will have fully intended on following through completion when I do finally discharge from York Correctional. As you know, I've already stated I completed my hospitality. And before I'm released, and lastly, achieve enough hours with my cosmetology to go home and continue and take my state boards. These accomplishments will help me achieve solid employment in the work field to better succeed as well. The one opportunity that I've yet to have is the opportunity to apologize to my victims, my family, and my children. There's not one day that goes by without me carrying guilt, shame, and regret for my wrong choices and unjustly behavior. It's taken this time for me to realize that sorry will never suffice. My criminal behavior and irresponsible decisions was unacceptable on many levels, and I do not condone them. Knowing the damage I've caused, the estranged relationships, and the sense of security that I may have taken or trauma I may have caused, I will forever carry that guilt and remorse for my negligence. Let alone, my sons did not deserve to be put through any of what they have or are left without a mother because of my criminal behaviors. Apologies will never be enough. However, I will spend the rest of my life trying my all to make things right. I understand my mistakes cannot be undone and never forgiven. However, I will continue to hold myself accountable and continue life correctly while following the laws. I basically, at this point in time, I have set up pre-release plans. I have a recovery coach that I have set up in place. I am in contact with her very frequently. I have pre-engagement for employment fields I could go out and try as well. I have chosen a halfway house because being incarcerated for 10 years has made me realize that I need to re-enter the community properly. I do not wish to squander this opportunity if I am given. I would like to do it correctly, and I would like to do it effectively. I'm also in contact with support services as far as there was a counselor we had here for mental health. She is now working on the outside, Jill Sandora. I have 2 previous long-term inmates, Robin Ledbetter and that I'm in contact with that are very proactive with them. I think it is the Women Against Mass Incarceration. I'm trying to be proactive as in having a positive reentry into the community, because I will be honest, I am definitely scared at this point and want to make sure that I have every building block available. You know, I've learned early on that prison is what you make it. I definitely did not do my first several very easily at all. I take full responsibility for that. It has taken me this time, as well as growing up basically in the prison the last 10 years, to be where I am at today. I will be honest and say that, you know, when I did have my first parole hearing, I was probably still not ready at that point in time. I didn't have any plans in place. I didn't fully achieve my full potential as well. But today I still continue to work on myself as a person. But yeah, that is,
All right, thank you for your statement, Ms. Main. So you know how this works, because this is your 3rd parole hearing. We have questions for you, and when we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision.
okay.
We'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Page.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Ms. Main, I appreciate your opening statement, and I also appreciate your taking the time to write down your thoughts so that you can convey them to the panel here today. I was on your very first discretionary parole hearing back in 2000. Wait, was it 2000? And I don't remember the first one.
March 20, yeah.
And we'd asked you to do a few things and come back. At that time, you had 17 disciplinary infractions that first hearing.
Yeah.
Then we gave you a rehear date, and then you came back in 22, and you had 6 additional tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And now they gave you another 2-year denial, and you come back before us, and now you have 9 new disciplinary infractions. 9.
Yes. I
with the
didn't
last,
do, I'm
with,
sorry.
with one of your tickets being in February 2022 for Suboxone, an intoxication, ticket after completing the tier program.
Yes.
You have a total of 40 disciplinary infractions since you've been there in between your experience. And I heard you say yourself that you've completed a number of positive programs and that you learned this and that and that and this, and I'm glad. However, you're not putting your money where your mouth is. And I know that's a cliche, but it's very difficult for us to determine that you have gained some insight from these programs based on your institutional behavior. I'm not really sure what it is that we need to do for you so that you can be successful when you are released. Your the sentence that you received is lengthy, yes. And it's difficult, I understand that as well. However, you do have a lengthy period of supervision to follow your sentence, and they don't play. So if you mess up, you come right back to prison. And the thing is, you're not getting it right in prison. So how can we expect you to get it right in the community? And you can go ahead and respond.
With all due respect, I do not, my actions do have, every action has a reaction. And with that being said, the one thing I have learned that is unfortunate is I have made, in my first several years here, a reputation for myself. I do struggle with it still to this day, that a lot of staff, it's no matter what I do and no matter how good I do, they still see me, unfortunately, in that negative light. And I have to take responsibility for that because I made that negative light my first, 6-7 years being here. So it is difficult at this point in time. And sometimes I feel like no matter how right of a road I walk, that I still unfortunately do bump into that staff that still sees me in that negative light, no matter how hard I try. Again, I am not blaming them, but it is unfortunate that as an inmate, we do have those lights put on us. And sometimes it is not easy. I'm asking for the opportunity to be in the community to show that I am a positive light compared to where I was at one point. And I do understand that if I did mess up, I would be put back into jail as well. But at this point, I most definitely would fight for everything in the rights to not squander that opportunity.
And I appreciate that. I honestly do. I heard you talk about the steps you intend to take in terms of your recovery. I heard you talk about your son and what he's suffering with. And I heard you also apologize and say that, sorry will never be enough. And you said something that I disagree with, which was that you'll never be forgiven. Well, the forgiveness, one, starts with yourself.
Yes.
And two, you will be forgiven if you have any belief in a higher power.
That I am learning currently. I right now have been very immersed into my religion at the moment, and I'm still learning that healing process, and it's not an easy one.
No, it isn't.
And sorry, but I don't mean to start crying. Oh my God, it's yeah. So
you have to start with yourself. You have to forgive yourself. We all make poor decisions sometimes, unfortunately. And I think that sometimes we are also our worst critics. But you have to give yourself some leniency. That doesn't mean to go and run amok. That's not what it means. It means give yourself some grace and understand that you're going to get some bumps along the road. But it's what you do after you get those bumps.
Yes.
And I also want to say that you can turn this thing around. You're only 40 years old. I heard you talk about the people there in the facility who are supervising you. Everyone here doesn't like me. you know, where everyone is not, all of us, I'm sure, can share an experience about a person that, or people who remember them for who they were, or dislike them. It's just, that's a part of life. It's just a part of life, Miss Main. And you have to adjust. You have to adjust your mindset. Everyone's not going to accept you for you.
Yes,
And
that
I'm not
is,
to lecture you. I'm just trying to tell you that there's some things that you have control over, and there's some things that you don't. And what someone else thinks of you, you have absolutely no control over.
yes, that is one thing I have to say that, I used to have a very negative reaction, and my temper was not that well at all. The one thing that I have learned, and again, I know my chronic discipline is on the record, is I have to be honest, that time in there brought such peace to myself, because I learned how I can be still with just myself, to love myself again. And not only that, but it calmed me. Where now it's one thing I have learned, especially with all the females here, is something can be said to me. And before I would have a reaction to it, where now I'm just like, it's so minuscule to me that I can't let it affect the positivity that I am doing. But like I said, it is unfortunate where some staff, you know, they just never will see the change of life that you are trying to be. And I do fortunately have the staff that does see my positive change on my side. And I just recently had, you know, the deputy warden tell me, Nicole, it's a bump in the road. We know what you've been doing. Keep doing that good. Don't let it affect you. And that's what I continue to do. And I can't let it affect me and what I'm trying to do, especially as far as showing my children and my family that I was not the mother I once was, let alone I'm not the woman I once was.
Well, it's been 10 years. You came in there in your 30s, you know?
Yeah.
You're 40 years old now, and I would hope that you have changed. But you can't continue to put poison in your body and tell people that, you know, I'm different. You have to back that up. You have to back it up, you know? And I know that you can do it. You're just struggling, and it's unfortunate, you know? But nonetheless, I have to say that, you know, these 9 additional disciplinary infractions really do disappoint me. And I hear everything that you said, and I appreciate the discussion that we've had here today. And I really do hope that you are successful in your recovery and in your life. I heard you share some of your aspirations. You want to get your license to do hair, and I'm sure that's not an easy task. So, you know, that's a good goal. It's very lucrative business. Everybody needs haircuts and hair color, and I have a whole bunch of braids, and you know, so you have to put your mind to remain on a positive path and follow through. Now that's your task, to follow through. All right, I'm off that. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, if I could quickly mention is, I know you mentioned my hair, but I am also 3 credits from actually graduating with my intro to business management with 3 Rivers. So that is, you know, that's a huge accomplishment for me that I don't think I would have necessarily done before if I was still where I was.
All right.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ms. Main, I was on your most recent hearing in March of 22,
Yes.
where we denied you because of the disciplinary reports. I would agree with my colleague. Just last month, you had that contraband ticket, and, you know, that's a problem. That's a problem for us. You know, if you're saying this is all drug related, then we need to see that you're clean. We need to know that it's safe to put you out there in the community. At one point, you had you were engaged. You had a plan to go live with a fiance in Ansonia. What happened to that?
To be honest with you, I do not even know. She kind of just fell off the map with me. I know she started, you know, having her own life decisions, and me being in here is for 10 years has been, stressful on some people in my life. And I fully understand that, I'm the one that put myself in here, and I can't expect them to ride out that whole time with me either.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I didn't think she was a very good influence anyway. Didn't she try to bring drugs in for you at one point?
Yeah, that was another disconnection why we have disconnected.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was a pair of sneakers, not drugs. So if I could please correct that. It was a pair of sneakers that she had given me during visits.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. Yes.
Wow.
And as far as the contraband ticket is, unfortunately there is some people that just do not want to see you do good in here. And I am learning that being by myself 100% while being incarcerated is where I need to be right now, because
So are you blaming someone else for that ticket? I'm not understanding what you're saying.
no, I had willingly admitted that I was carrying mail for somebody else. And at the time didn't realize necessarily what the contraband was in it.
Why would you carry mail for someone else?
We usually deliver mails to friends and family in here, and I really didn't think there would be anything in it, but obviously that was my first time doing so, and definitely my last.
We'll call the facility to follow up on that, but I don't know that I believe that they have inmates delivering mail to each other without knowing what's inside the envelopes.
No, it's not that. It's kites, which is contraband. The kites, when you send mail from. Yeah, I can't explain it. It's like a
That's
note,
definitely not allowed.
Huh?
And you're telling me that's allowed by the facility rules? No, of course not. Okay. Yeah, and who knows? We won't know. We don't know if that's the truth or not either, whether you knew you had it on you or not. But 9 tickets in a 2-year period is just too much.
Yeah, I had not a good year last year at all.
Yeah.
Especially with my reaction I kind of went into that depression hole where I lost my parole and didn't do too well after it. And then receiving the news of my son, and not having a place where you can take out your frustrations and anxiety and anger and everything else, I just didn't react too well for it. And I took full accountability for it 100%.
Okay, good, because that's part of life. Bad things happen every day in life, and not everybody has supports in place. You have to have your own coping skills as well. Disappointments, you were denied parole. But
my biggest trigger,
you can't just make poor choices every time you get bad news. Go ahead, your biggest trigger.
My biggest trigger was definitely my son. However, the last year and a half is, like I said, where after my chronic discipline time, I had learned that I can't be like that. And I definitely had, my downtime, and it made me, I can't explain it. It made me just want to reach out and do so much better than I was being, because if I can't be proactive, if I can't help myself, I can't help my children. I can't help the next person. I can't do any of that. And my temper has always been something that's got in the way. And I just do not want, I'm 40, I'm tired. It's not a positive way to be in life. And it's something, that I will continue to keep in order. It's why I attend AA, I attend Al-Anon, and it helps with all those reactions as well.
Yeah.
I can't let them, they're just not something that I need to be letting get in the way.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
I don't have any questions. Sure.
All right, give us a few minutes to discuss your case, and we'll get back to you shortly with our decision.
Okay.
Ms. Page.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I appreciate the discussion again with Ms. Main here today. It sounds like she's gained some insight about her behaviors, and she's starting to grow up now. An adult now. It sounds like in every sense of the word, she has to be held accountable for her actions. I'm happy to see that she's participated in some of the programs, but I really do think that she needed. And it sounds as if she's very excited about being in the Pell Grant programs and pursuing her education. And I hope that she completes that and continues on with it. That said, Ms. Main has been given 2 times now on to come back before the panel, just without any disciplinary infractions. And she really does seem to struggle.
Yeah.
And, you know, I at this point, I don't know if it's self-sabotage, if she's just comfortable
Right.
being there at
Right.
the facility. Like,
I wondered that myself.
I don't know if she's afraid to walk out, but nonetheless, I can't support her request here for parole today. And I don't have her coming back as, you know, maybe she can explore a different avenue, but for me, it's a denial with no new hearing. Based on her constitutional 40 disciplinary infractions is ridiculous. And that's just this period of incarceration. So
Are we at 40?
40,
40.
yes. What do you have?
No, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
looking at 17 at the original, then 6 and 9. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's at least 32 then, right? Huh. Wow. All right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Concur, Madam Chair.
Really? You're not interested in a rehearing either?
No, ma'am.
No. You know, I question because it's, you know, I wonder myself if she's just self-sabotaging and maybe a little too spent a little too much time there and is comfortable there.
Yeah.
She does have 7 years of special parole.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was a lengthy sentence, 13 years,
Which,
because of the volume,
yes.
and she could have been out by now. She's doing well in the community. I would have given her a rehear, but if you guys are not interested, then all right. Reasons for denial, obviously poor institutional adjustment, inadequate evidence of offender change. Anything else?
All I have,
That's all I have.
that's what the
All right.
distance for.
Yeah, I did verify it's.
Yeah. In the matter of Nicole M, inmate number 388786, I'll make a motion to deny parole for the following reasons. Poor institutional adjustment with the disciplinary reports and inadequate evidence of offender change. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You do have 7 years of special parole to follow your sentence. Move to set the following special parole conditions. No consumption of alcoholic beverages, mental health evaluation and treatment if deemed necessary, halfway house placement, and no contact with co-defendants Christopher West or John Fernandez. Anything else? There's too many victims to list.
Yes.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Ms. Main, we certainly
Thank
wish
you.
you the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. You can tell someone who just doesn't, who just can't help themselves. You know, there are certain people that just can't be around other people. Maybe they call it antisocial behavior or something like that. But you know, the idea that her strategy is, well, I'm doing great. It's the guard's fault. It's the guard's fault. It's it's all their fault that I'm getting all these write-ups. You see, I came in with a bad reputation, and now they can't get over that. It's everything I'm doing is okay, and you can also see it's like that manipulative behavior, where it's like, you know, when she was talking about the different write-ups that she has, like these attempts at gaslighting, like it's when she brings up, well, we found that you were passing no, what was it? You had contraband, and then it starts off with mail that quickly then goes into something else. I forgot what she called it. And then it like led to something else. And within like the course of like a minute and a half, I'm confused of what she's talking about. The parole board is like, what? No, of course you can't do that. And it's like this, it's just this, I don't even want to call it art, because no one's falling for it. Like it's all very clear that what you're saying is just a bunch of gibberish. No one's believing you. Look, you're locked up in prison. You could have gotten paroled out all these years ago, but you just can't help yourself but to get in trouble. And she still can't help herself to even look at how the outside world perceives her and how we're listening to what she is saying, which is just a bunch of utter rubbish. Oh, my ex was a fiance or what girlfriend. Yeah, she was no good for me. Oh, well, she also tried to bring you contraband. Oh yeah, that's also why we split up. But I want the record to know it was shoes. She wanted to bring me shoes. It's like, really, dude? I mean, come on. And I mean, whatever. It's and shoes would have been just as illegal anyways. But it's like I don't. There's certain people that I think they just can't help themselves. And I think we just saw it. Now, she did get a long sentence, and I don't have information, but what Richard did was lay out all of her different convictions of the past decade, because that's only what they're allowed to show us. For some reason, I don't know, it's not expunged from the record, but it doesn't show up on the record, at least the record that is publicly available. So in September 26, 2013, she had a guilty of burglary, third degree. She was sentenced to 731 days in jail. I mean, it makes you wonder what third degree burglary means when you get, that's a long sentence. Then, she got guilty 53A 124 larceny, third degree. That's part of the same thing. But remember, it could be that she's been getting locked up for the past 20 years, and the judge, and that's why I think she has such a long sentence. You don't see this often in Connecticut. 5/9/2014. So she obviously got out early or something, because she gets her next, not 731 days later, but 5/9/2014, she gets another burglary of third degree, and she gets 3 years jail with 7 years special parole. I don't know how this happened, because it's just a month later, 6/18/2014, she has another third degree burglary, 3 years jail. And maybe these are different days of the offenses, and she got sentenced all at one time. 6/18/2014 burglary, 3/27/2014. So we're going back in time. She has risk of injury to a child. We don't have details on that. 3/27/2014 burglary, third degree. I don't feel bad for her. Now, I'm not sure, it is scary. She will be getting out, and I mean, I guess I don't know if it's scary. Hopefully she won't hurt anyone. She's just gonna do something stupid and find herself right back in prison. Her maximum release date is 3/27/27. And what it seems that they did is that they didn't give her another parole date. They're just saying, screw it. You've given up on yourself. We've given up on you. That's my understanding. They just said, you're serving out the rest of your time. And, it's interesting to see the parole board act tough, so to speak, because we just haven't seen much of that. I thought they'd say, well, give her a reason to do better. Give her a reason to do better. And let's give her another chance in a year and a half at parole. But they didn't do that. And I guess just because her record is so bad, I take full responsibility, but the staff's picking on me. Some people just can't make it out. They just can't. I think that's my takeaway from this hearing. You just got to see it for yourself to believe it. And with that, I'll let you go.